Welcome to day 16 of our Let's Get Exam Ready series. Today we're continuing to look at command terms, looking at the second possible command term of discuss. This is a common command term in essay response questions and is asking you to give a balanced and considered review of a topic. Imagine you've been asked to review a movie that you've seen. In that review you would discuss things about the movie. So you might consider what was good and what was bad about the movie, but you don't have to do that. In a discuss question, strengths and weaknesses can be considered, but they're not necessary. There are various factors and arguments to consider when you're asked to discuss something. If you have an ERQ with the command term discuss, it's likely to ask you to discuss either a model or a theory, research in a particular area, methods used to investigate a particular topic, ethical considerations that are relevant to research in a particular area, or it could ask you to discuss a particular topic. Let's look at some examples of possible discuss questions. If you remember in our day 14 video, we explained the three-step approach to demonstrate well-developed critical thinking. Here's how we could use the three-step approach to discuss one or more research methods used to investigate the individual and the group. This question is asking you to discuss one or more particular research methods that are used to investigate a particular topic from one of the units from paper 1. After selecting the method or methods you're going to use to answer this question, you would need to describe the methods, include relevant research, and here are just some examples of points you could discuss in your essay that would help demonstrate critical thinking. Why is this method commonly used when we're investigating this topic? Are the limitations of this method, and how do they impact our knowledge and understanding of this topic area? Do the strengths of this method help increase the validity or credibility of the research findings? Are there ethical considerations which are particularly relevant when we're using this method to explore this topic? And do these ethical considerations make the method more challenging to actually use? So we're not just focusing on the strengths and limitations of the method, we're discussing the method and considering other factors which are relevant to help inform our overall discussion of the method. Here's an example of a question asking you to discuss a theory. In this case, it's the theory of reconstructive memory. Any of the points here could be elaborated and explained further to help you demonstrate critical thinking relevant to the command term discuss. How has this theory been applied in real life? Are there factors that can influence the likelihood of memory being reconstructed or the creation of false memories? Is there evidence that contradicts the theory of reconstructive memory? What do the research findings that have looked into this theory of reconstructive memory imply? When conducting research to investigate the theory of reconstructive memory, what methodological considerations and ethical considerations need to be taken? So again, we're not evaluating the theory, we're trying to discuss the theory, give an overall balanced review of a range of different factors relevant to the theory. You could also be asked to discuss ethical considerations in relation to research into a particular topic. It's important for this question not to focus on evaluating whether a study is or isn't ethical. We're focusing on the ethical considerations and discussing them. So after selecting one or more relevant ethical considerations, you could elaborate on any of the following points to help demonstrate critical thinking. Why is that particular ethical consideration so important when we're conducting research into this topic area? How can researchers fully adhere to it? And what if they don't adhere to it? What could the consequences be? Is it ever justifiable to actually not fully adhere to this ethical consideration? And what limitations can occur when we follow the ethical consideration in research? Elaborating and explaining on any of these bullet points and using the three-step process will help demonstrate relevant critical thinking in relation to the command term of discuss. Tomorrow we move on to our third command term, which is contrast. It's a command term that requires a very different approach. So be sure to join us again tomorrow to make sure you're fully prepared on how to respond to a question with the command term contrast.